Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, could one of you please comment about video and sound quality? If everything is fine, I will be starting in like 30 seconds. Okay, I think we are good. Thanks, Sayed, for the confirmation. So today, just let me a little bit rescale the presentation. Yes. So this is the Q&A session of our previous lecture. So third one was VHDL versus Verilog versus SystemVerilog. So we will little bit go through the slides to remind you some details. Then I will be answering your questions if we of course have them. So let me also join the voice channel of Discord, so you may join there and ask your voice questions. So let me join and let me cross check if the voice is fine. Yes, we have the clap sound. Okay, we are good. So in the English Discord channel, we have 4 people are online. In the Turkish one, we have 2. No, not this one. In the Turkish one, we have 6. And in total, in Turkish one, we have 332 people. In the English one, we have only 37 people for now. So let me also share the link of our English Discord channel in the chat box. So I try to share, but why enter is not working? Okay, because it's not chat box, but the search emojis ones. Let me check. Ah, okay, now I will be able to. Oh, okay, it says it is long. Maybe multiple or copy it. So let me. Yes, now I succeed. So this is the English Discord server we have. So I created those sub text channels. So we have general one, FPGA HDL Q&A one, technical event training, and book one, CV review, code review, job vacancy, and fun. So these are our sub channels in English Discord server. So using the link I shared, you may join. It's free of charge. So yeah, this is a good place for technical and non-technical communication. All right, so you may write your questions to the chat box. Also, you may write them to Discord text channel. I will be cross-checking. Also, you may join the voice chat and everyone will be hearing you. So this is also a nice chance to ask a question verbally. Okay. So this is our agenda, 6th of October 2024. So we are in right now the last quarter. So last 3 months of the year. Q&A will be about those bullets topics we had on Wednesday. So that 1076 2019 IEEE standard of VHDL. And by the way, there is here the double VHDL is that very high speed integrated circuit hardware description language, then language reference manual. Yeah, this is, you say 2-time language, but it is officially like that in the document. So because, okay, VHDL is abbreviation of something I mentioned, I explained just now, but since all these are language reference manual, so this is a term. These 3 words is a term they use it. So language reference manual, they are quite important, as I mentioned during the previous lecture. So the 1364 2005, this is the Verilog standard of IEEE hardware description language. So I tried to keep the official name of the documents. So this is 2005, this is 2019, top one is VHDL, second one is Verilog, and 1800 2023 IEEE standard for SystemVerilog. So as we mentioned, this is unified hardware design, specification and verification language. So others like 500, 600 pages, but this one is like 1300, so 1365 something. So many more pages because it's a unified language. So it is hardware description, and as you see, it is the latest one among those three. So just last December, I think it is released. So it hasn't been even 1 year. So it is younger than 1 year, let me say. So yeah, that is why the most recent, more details, more annexes, more subtopics, topics. So like there are many detailed subsections. So yeah, it's even if you are doing only design by VHDL, I recommend you to read all these three, because you will then you will be able to compare and contrast these three very popular, strong hardware description languages. So don't just focus on. But I don't say that. Okay, in total, it is close to 3,000 page long stuff here. So don't focus each and every detail, but try to focus, try to search, look for, focus on important topics. So yeah, my recommendation is to read as much as possible because there are many nice examples, details, and it is official language reference manual by these three are actually by IEEE. So but yeah, it seems it is 3,000 pages in total. Okay, this is a little bit scary. So you may say that no, it will be too much time. But yeah, the benefit is really strong. So I recommend do it in like maybe that 3,000 pages in total in 1 year, kind of. You can schedule it, you can plan and do it accordingly. For instance, 50 pages each week, kind of. And start from, if you are a VHDL design engineer, then start from VHDL 1. As I mentioned during the lecture, it covers and compare, contrast previous versions as well. So yes, I think that these three documents will help you a lot in terms of being good FPGA either design or verification engineer. So because you know the SystemVerilog one is very popular in verification, but also you can use it for hardware design as mentioned in the official document name. So, and also compilers, there's Vivado, Quartus, Libero, they improve their compatibility with SystemVerilog because future is SystemVerilog. So like I think 20 years later, something like that. So yeah, VHDL could be, even for design, SystemVerilog probably preferred more. Yeah, also could be VHDL is still alive in 30, 40 years. But yeah, since SystemVerilog is unified and it provides many built-in great verification features. Also, okay, SystemVerilog with UVM, Universal Verification Methodology, is great, but it takes much more time. It is not easy to a good functional coverage, let me say, ideal as it should be. Verification using the language SystemVerilog and methodology, universal verification methodology, it takes too many days, too many work hours. It takes too much time. But it is if it is done in a good way, it is extremely good. So you find many bugs that is impossible to see during simple simulation. So by the way, if you don't do that kind of good verification, then you are trying to solve problems in the field, also in the laboratories. So it takes too much time compared to proper SystemVerilog verification actually. But even if you are not doing proper verification, with the help of SystemVerilog built-in functions, it is possible to really proper to some level, let me say a moderate level verification using only SystemVerilog. Because compared to VHDL and Verilog, it is really powerful. There are many built-in constraint random functions, methodology approach like using bins to do some proper verification in a shorter time compared to direct tests, let me say. So yeah, it is really beneficial. So it is like the future is SystemVerilog. But in long term, like 5 years, in short term, like 5 years, 10 years, also you need to be really good at VHDL in majority of the design companies. So yeah, I would go with, for instance, by the way, the update year also proves that. You see Verilog is last time updated in 2005. But don't forget that Verilog is the parents or father of SystemVerilog. So, but it is, so if for instance, if you ask me an order to read these language reference manuals, I would say if you're a designer, start from VHDL, then continue with SystemVerilog, then complete with Verilog. But if you're a verification engineer, of course, then it is a must to read first the SystemVerilog one. So this shall be the, I think, proper order. Yeah, it is a little bit subjective, not an objective thing. So it depends on the person choice, company choice, team choice, etc. It depends on many things. But yeah, this is, I think, yeah, majority of the engineers are agreeing on this. So for now, as of 2024, VHDL is the preferred one for, let me say, more preferred one for design, and SystemVerilog is the one for verification. But as I mentioned, by the way, you may use also VHDL open source methodologies for a moderate level, good level of verification as well. As I mentioned in the previous lectures, they are OSVVM, open source VHDL verification methodology, and UVVM, universal VHDL verification methodology. For VHDL based one, these two are quite good. Of course, not as good as UVM, because UVM is the best one, as I mentioned. Universal verification methodology using the language SystemVerilog, that is the best one. But yeah, it takes more time to make it up and running. There are less real verification experts in the world. So yeah, and the tools are much more expensive compared to VHDL only simulators or other tools. So yeah, there are many pros and cons about that. But if you need to verify design in a proper way, if you need some certifications that is known and inspected through many companies, many authorities in the world, then you require SystemVerilog and UVM. But otherwise, you can benefit from VHDL based OSVVM, UVVM verification methodologies. Also, you may benefit from CocoaDB, which is Python based. So also there are some other little bit less famous but still good alternatives available on the web. So yeah, depending on your design complexity, the purchasing power of your company, or if you are the CEO, the purchasing power of you, so you may pick one of the available solutions. Okay, let's continue with other slides. I will not spend too much time because we already did on last Wednesday. So sorry, just a second, let me drink a bit coffee. Okay, so we went through those contents in the official documents of official IEEE standard document for VHDL. So yeah, we talked a little bit, actually we mentioned those sections and some details about this hard language reference manual of VHDL. So as you see, it is approved on the 5th of September 2019. This is before COVID times, good old days, let me say. So as you know, towards the end of the 2019, it started in Wuhan, then it spread all over the world. So like starting from the early 2020, it was really like bad times. So I was in Germany at that time. So yeah, restrictions were quite tough also. Yeah, then in Efiv, more months in Turkey and in some other countries also restrictions were quite hard. So yes, this is good old times, let me say. 5th of September 2019. It was, yeah, it is more than 600 pages. So it is, but if you, for instance, if you don't read annexes at the end, so some detailed parts about some sections, it is like 500 something as far as I remember. So it is just 50, even 50 pages per week. You can finish it in almost 10 weeks. So it is not impossible to do it. So in using similar approach and skipping some too detailed parts, or the parts you cannot understand because of your experience, since maybe you are new in this FPGA design or verification stuff. So you may skip some parts and noting that you will come back them in next years. So you can in 1 year finish all these 3 documents with this approach, for instance, depending on your availability, on your time. So you may also do it in a shorter or longer time. It is fine, but this stuff, all these sections are quite important, and they had been written by really experienced IEEE members. So also some of them are professors, some of them are guru level engineers. So there is a great contribution on these documents. So Verilog 1 we mentioned also. You see, since IEEE is the writer of this document as well, the section names are similar. In some of them are similar. It's like compared to previous one, it is 14 years before, but still, yeah, they have a good skeleton for those language reference models and all others. To be honest, IEEE documents, they are pretty high quality. So this is the one. This is a little bit less than 600 pages, for instance. So kind of both are like 600, 700 pages long. So the SystemVerilog 1, as you see, this is much longer, more than 1300 pages. Approved 6th of December last year. So as you see, it is like 10 months age or something like that. Yeah, actually today is also 6th of October. It has been 10 months since, exactly 10 months since this document is approved. Contents are, again, it starts with overview, normative references, and then some SystemVerilog specific sections. Of course, you see they are to some extent similar, namings are similar, but there are additional ones like functional coverage, constraint random value generations, utility system task and system functions. Yeah, that's also this inter-process synchronization and communication is quite important. By the way, if they made one of these, all of them are sections. So if they promoted something as section, then it is quite important. So yeah, I don't agree with anyone saying that, okay, skip this section. No, it is not, because it is a part of the skeleton. So it is the part of like body on that document. So I recommend you to go through all of them. Don't focus too much on the details sometimes if you don't understand, especially. Just skip them, but take some note saying that, let's say, section 4.3.1 I couldn't understand very well, so come back later, kind of. So you can then maybe 3 years, after 3 years of experience in that era, it will be much clearer for you. But get the main intention, get the main idea from each and every section in this document. In these documents, let me say, all three. Okay, this is the comparison one. Let's went through this a little bit more carefully. But let me check first if we have any questions. Then I will went through this one. I will go through this one. Let me also check. Okay, voice chat, we don't have anyone for now, but as I mentioned, you may join. Unmute your microphone and ask your question. Also, anyone that is listening right now and that will be listening later, will hear your voice, so it will be really informative for them as well. So hearing some other voice, some other questions, some other perspective. So I strongly recommend you to ask verbal questions. Some voice questions. Sorry, verbal is like, let me cross check. I forget. Okay, verbal is correct. Okay, it is like oral, verbal, vocal. So that was correct. So ask some verbal questions, but also text questions are appreciated as well. So yes. Said code, you may share your code to the English servers code review one. So is it possible to, yes, copy link? Yes, I have sent the link. This is our English Discord servers code review text channel. So paste your code there, then I will try to answer your question. In the meantime, let's read. Furkan has a question. Wednesday, we said that SystemVerilog is suitable for verification, excluding the object-oriented programming features of SystemVerilog. Is there a difference in the verification flow of VHDL or Verilog? To be honest, I don't see any methodologies. Yeah, maybe there are some custom ones, but in terms of open source one or not open source, like paid ones, let me say. By the way, in theory, universal verification methodology is also free of charge. So there are good documents explaining that universal verification methodology. Like, let me say, for instance, I really recommend you to read UVM Cookbook. That is a great document which from a little bit high level explaining each and every detail of universal verification methodologies. So that UVM Cookbook is great. It is, let me try to find its link, by the way. You need to register UVM Siemens Verification Academy or something. It was something like that. Just a second. UVM Cookbook. Yes, Verification Academy. So let me send you the link. Also, it conforms to IEEE 1800.2 UVM standard. So this cookbook is I think great in many sense. So you need to register this Verification Academy and please don't use your personal email, but either use your student's email or your company email. Then they will accept it. Otherwise, they, like 99%, they reject personal emails, because this is an important and well-known academy. They don't accept those personal emails most of the time. But UVM is also that to learning about, you can download IEEE document of UVM as well. UVM, that methodology has IEEE documents, each version they have. But why UVM is much more expensive is the tools UVM using. For instance, if you are using a mixed language simulator, then it is much more expensive compared to VHDL only or Verilog only or SystemVerilog only, single language simulator. So when it is supporting mixed language design and verification, then, by the way, normally, usually design is VHDL or Verilog, verification language is SystemVerilog. But since it is now VHDL plus Verilog plus SystemVerilog, actually it is more like, because VHDL plus SystemVerilog, so it is mixed language, then those tools are much more expensive. That is the problem. Also, verification IPs. So you have some intellectual properties, IPs to verify, but they have many interfaces, like different kind of communication interfaces, data interfaces. These are also standardized by IEEE or some other communities. So those verification IPs provided by vendors, simulation vendors or other big companies, so they are those VIPs, verification IPs, they are expensive. That makes UVM, if you are doing if you are either doing mixed language design or you are doing, or both, of course, you are using those VIPs you would like to use, because you don't want to invent the wheel from the scratch each and every time. It is much better to use vendors' IPs by paying some extra money, or those vendors, simulator ones this time, verification IPs, because they are really sophisticated. They have many features, many generics, many support. In terms of like the PCI Express, Ethernet, some low speeds, low speed communication protocols, high speed ones. So those verification IPs are really sophisticated. They have some built-in extra features, blah blah blah. So it most of time they deserve the purchase, the money that they deserve that purchase. But of course they are expensive. So like not if the purchasing power of a company is low or moderate, so more low or medium, let me say. So it is tough to purchase or buy them. That's why, yeah, that UVM is expensive in terms of, that's why I said previously it is expensive in terms of tools. Also you need to hire verification engineers, either they are inexperienced or experienced. So like low level, mid level, or guru level verification engineers. So since they are in the field, proper ones, they also ask for, compared to design engineers, they ask for more money, because it is like, you know, demand, and the demand is higher because there are less really good verification engineers in the world right now. So there is that high demand for verification engineers. But please be aware that it is similar for the design. So it is being good at something and acting as if you are good at something. It is much different. So yeah, I heard in last 4 or 5 years many verification engineers thinking that they are great. They couldn't get any offer from good companies, because I have some colleagues, design and verification engineers in Turkey, in Germany, so like for more than 2 years also in the Netherlands. So being good at something and acting as if you are good at something is different. So don't think like that if I go to verification field, I will be rich, I will get much more money. No, it is not like that. Even if, okay, there is a higher demand, there are less proper verification engineers, but they are looking for, majority of companies are looking for really good ones. So they won't hire you if you are just pretending, acting as if you are good at verification. So this is something different. So to be honest, if you are eager to do design, and if you are good at design, try to be really good at something. So don't change your expertise, don't change your working fields because of money only. So if you like design, also if you have some years of experience, rely on that, improve that. So this is my advice about that. But object-oriented features are used in SystemVerilog language. So there are many that class approach, for instance, encapsulation, inheritance. So those major features of object-oriented programming is already in SystemVerilog. So VHDL and Verilog doesn't have them. But for your question, the specific last part, is there a difference in the verification flow of VHDL or Verilog? Actually, no. But Verilog doesn't have those OSVVM and UVVM. So they may have some custom other stuff. But yeah, VHDL, to be honest, that has that more than 1,000 lines of probably, by the way, if you sum all the features, all the procedures that VHDL has, including OSVVM and UVVM, probably they are more than 10,000, 20,000 lines of code. So there is also their tickle script support is quite good. there are many ready-to-use code there. So Verilog, as far as I know, there is nothing like that. But there is CocoaDB. This is Python-based, so you can tie, or let me say, instantiate your VHDL design or Verilog design in CocoaDB, but it is Python-based. So then you are starting to rely on Python-based improvements in CocoaDB, but it is really helpful because Python is great. It has many built-in libraries. Then you start to benefit from built-in functions of built-in features of Python. Okay, they are not FPGA specific stuff, but you can benefit from them for instance, video processing, image processing, some other features, many features that Python has built-in in that language. So for instance, you can use it like MATLAB for writing some algorithms, some models on your own. Then you can compare and contrast the results of VHDL with the Python models you have. So also some companies started to write some Python models of some FPGA intellectual properties. Yeah, it is a little bit, yeah, the CocoaDB stuff is quite good, but it is not an IEEE standard. So a community, they are trying to improve it, so it is open source. It has great features, but by the way, OSVVM and UVVM, they are also not IEEE standards yet. So there are like some communities, they are trying to improve those methodologies, let me say. But all those three, that CocoaDB, OSVVM, UVVM, I really like them because you need some hybrid solutions as well. Sometimes you need, let me give a good example regarding this. Let's say you are an FPGA design engineer. You are designing something and you need to check its functions, its functionality to some extent. You cannot provide your IP, your custom IP each and every time to the verification engineer. Then it will take too much time because, by the way, because of the shortage of verification engineers I mentioned, ideally their number should be more than the design engineers, but usually it is less. So if you go to the verification engineer for each and every update you do for your design, then that verification cycle, so in total development cycle, is much longer. That is why you need to verify your design properly using VHDL as well. So if you use VHDL, OSVVM, UVVM for designer level verification, then benefiting from OSVVM and UVVM, then you can provide a much more mature, much better IP to verification engineers. So this is the major benefit. It is something in between. So using only VHDL without any methodology, it is, let me say, 2 out of 10. UVM is 9, 10 out of 10, but it requires too much time. So, but doing with OSVVM, UVVM, CocoaDB, something, a hybrid solution of these three, or some custom extra tickle scripts, etc., some custom C++ code or Python code, depending on your company. So those hybrid stuff in between, it really improves the quality of the VHDL design or Verilog design or SystemVerilog design if it is SystemVerilog one. So this is I think the proper explanation from my perspective. Otherwise, if you go through SystemVerilog UVM each and every time, then you need many years to verify a complicated algorithm. So if you're a really big company, then you have many people to do this. But yeah, it is not possible for, to be honest, I think it is possible for 10 companies in the world or something like that. So they have many great design and verification engineers. So it is not possible for the like 99% of the companies in the world to, according to my observations in these 15 years. Okay, difference, there shall be some differences, but I don't have, Furkan has something to compare proper methodologic way of Verilog verification. So if it is system, I think you on purpose asking Verilog here, not SystemVerilog, because you mentioned SystemVerilog has object-oriented features, so it has many additional functions, tasks, methods to make verification effective and proper. But SystemVerilog, I don't have any ready to use. I don't know, at least maybe there are some custom ones, or there are some being improved. But probably SystemVerilog Verilog doesn't have, because the new language is SystemVerilog. So, you know, it is not even updated. IEEE didn't update it since 2005. So probably that is why. So there are either VHDL methodologies or SystemVerilog methodologies. That shall be the answer of why we don't have right now any open source or paid Verilog verification methodology. Okay, nice one. Thanks Furkan. Good question and informative for one for everyone. I think everyone listening this. So there is an additional comment. So do you mean like the design flow? There exists a verification flow, depends on the company or somehow. Yes. That is used for all HDL, but the way implementing verification procedures is up to the engineer. It is not up to engineer, it is up to the team, up to the jogger, up to the design document or verification document of that team, of that department, of that group, of that company. So it is not up to, in sophisticated companies, nothing is up to engineer. Let me the comments, some comments could be up to engineer, but proper way of working is not up to engineer in those great companies. So it is not allowed to. You can design design and verify in a different way, little bit. You may write some different codes, but methodologies, languages, those big decisions are never up to the engineer. By the way, if it is up to engineer, then everyone follows some different paths, then you are lost. So it is not up to, but also it is prohibited. It shall not be like that. There are gatekeepers, they are design reviewers, they are verification code reviewers. So yeah, actually, by the way, one is design, other is verification design. So both are design. Both you are writing some code, you are doing some developments. So gatekeepers, reviewers, your team leaders, managers, more experienced people, they shall be there. Otherwise you will in the long term, actually that guy's know-how, that guy's effort will be lost. So it is strongly prohibited. No manager, no team leader likes it. Okay. Thanks a lot, Furkan, for good questions. So let me. Okay, maybe Said pasted his code. He was going to ask something regarding that. Let me check that one. Okay. Let me copy image. Just a second. Okay, let me do it like that. Let me open Discord. OBS is on the left. Discord is here. Okay, there's open in browser section. Then I will do something like this. Okay, let's zoom a little bit. Why did I say making? Why there are these many lines of spaces here? It is not good. So you shall have 3 spaces or 1 tab or something like that. So I don't know why you made these many lines of spaces here. So it is much better to stay those codes together. Okay, but let's check your question. Let me a little bit also make myself smaller. So by the way, I cannot fit to any part because the length of each line is so long. Let me try to. I am so tiny because of you, say it. So don't try to write shorter lines of code next time. By the way, in many linting tools, also custom company rules, yeah, it is the, let's say this is the starting point. Like I think there is a tab here. So there shall be no more than 200 characters, or depending on the company, sometimes it is like 150. So probably you have more than 200 lines here. So it's too much, too many, let me say. So if it is stick on the left, kind of left justified, of course, with proper indentation. Those indentation, they are good, but I don't know why there you have after the signal name, you have this many spaces. So that is not proper. Okay, let's read your question. Where is your question? I got the code. I am sharing it right now. But where is the question? Let me a little bit try to come somewhere in between like this. Okay, I don't see the question still. Maybe you typed it also to Discord. Okay, in the process where case when functions are present, process SV. By the way, these 2 character signals are not preferred. So also this is also bad coding practice. They shall be self-explaining. What is that SV, for instance? In the sensitivity list you have SV. Is it switch or something? I don't know. SV. By the way, okay, here binary. It's in Turkish. You are saying it converts binary to integer. Yeah, convert binary to integer. So SV is something std logic vector but it is not self-explaining, as I said, so it shall be self-explaining. SV, I don't know what is SV. But okay, also this AN, these are too short. SEG, these are too short. So it is okay, you have your segment. So that proper name shall be also segment. So okay, these are some review comments. But let's focus on your question. Just a second. In the process where case when functions are present, there are slow clock ones, tens, hundred, thousands. Okay, those are signal names, I think. Okay, I see. There are slow clock. Where is that slow clock? Probably there you are saying these source clock are maybe slow. But let's continue. Ones, tens, hundred, thousands. So you are counting, yes, the digits of these binary signal, binary value, let's say. Okay, so what's the question? Has this process been correctly created? Should I add count variable? Count variable. Let me check. What are you doing here? So there's a variable count int. So yeah, the difference of variable compared to signals in VHDL is that with the colon equal, you are directly assigning this value at this time in the process flow. But if it is like these are, I think, signals, because only this one is variable. I cannot see the upper part, but these shall be signals. Also, we understand it because with assigning value to a variable with colon equal, but to signals are less than equal. So you are assigning. Okay, these are signals. The difference is these thousands, hundreds, tens, ones, they are getting their proper value at the end of these statements. So at delta cycle later at the end of this process. So but the value int is getting this value in the before the end of this process statement, whole statements here. So it is immediately getting its value. Okay, there we have this SV vector. It's std logic vector because we are changing it to unsigned first, then integer. Okay, integer get its value, then thousands. Let's check what we are doing. So this value is divided by thousands. Value int. So okay, here I cannot see how many bits this signal has. So it is also important. You need to cross check. So then this shall be correct each and every time, because you are changing that one to.
Correct.
Yes.
I use 13-bit switch. Switch seviye is
switch value. Okay. You have a demo board switch. So you assigned each bit to another switch on the development board, and you are trying to convert it to ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands, right?
Okay.
Okay. Then if it is 13 bit, if you divide it by 1000, so 1000 is like less than 10 bits, but let's say it is 10 bits, and dividing 13 bit something to 10 bits, it will be kind of 3 bits. So because decimal side, we are not fractional, you are focusing on not fractional but decimal side, because here there is those comments, thousands, hundreds, tens, ones. So this is decimal part. So you are right, 4 bits is enough then, right? Because it is 13 bits. Good. Then you made that proper approach. Nice. So no mistakes here. 4 bits for thousands, hundreds, you are dividing it to 100, then mod operation 10. Will that be correct? Just let me think about it. Because it is 100, then you are dividing it. Yeah, probably this is correct because you are using that mod operation. But then this is 1000, then 4-bit is enough. Let's say similar approach with them, because mod 10 is 100 multiplied by 10, then 4-bit again will be enough. But these two I am not sure, because you are dividing by 10. Maybe you, okay, then you shall not use value int. Okay, I think these last two are not correct in my opinion. But because, okay, you are, by the way, why you didn't mod operation of, I haven't used that mod function of VHDL recently. Is it possible to use up to only 10? Why you used mod 10 here?
Because I don't know this code.
So you are not sure or something like that, because if that mod
Yes.
cannot get 100, then you see, because you are dividing the same number to either 1000 or 100 or 10. But problem is this number is 13-bit, right? So it will, 4-bit will be enough if it is divided by 1000, if it is divided by 100 and mod 10, because that multiplication is again 1000. But for these last two, 4-bit is not enough, because let's say value is, okay, but you are doing mod 10. Come on. Okay. I think it is correct. Let's give an example. So let's say it is, since it is 13-bit, let's say it is 2000. 2000, just a second. 2000, let's say it is 2111. Okay. Divided by 10. By the way, after the division in VHDL, it is always sailed, not just a second. There was that two, one is sailing to lowest one. Other one is, was it flooring or something like that? There was a term for it. Sailing is making more. In VHDL, for instance, just let me calculate by heart this first part. Let's say it is 2 3 ones divided by 10. The result will be 211, because it cuts it floors. Yes, it is not sailing but flooring. Even if it was like let me say 2116, let me say, then you know dividing it by 10 will result in 211.6, but VHDL always floors it. So even if it is more than 0.5, it still floors. So result is, so let me type here, just a second. Where is our pen? Yeah, since I need to read the remaining part of the code, I won't show it on the board, whiteboard for now, but let me type. Where is the, yes, here it is. Let me a little bit make it slower. Okay, it is like,
Yeah.
yes.
Sorry. If you want, I sent all code.
Okay, just share it, but in the meantime I will try to check this one.
Okay.
So the first result of the first briquettes, this one, the line 64, so it would be in this case 211.6, but VHDL is flooring it, so result is 211. Then mod 10, if you make mod 10 here, then result will be 1. But this is misleading because we shall not use same numbers for this example. Same numbers, the reoccurring ones, let me say. So let's give different numbers all the time, all digits. Okay, then the math result will be 231.6. So, but since VHDL is flooring it, so it is 231. And mod 10 of it, I think it is 1. So then, but let's check. You were tens here. So onlar basamağı in Turkish. Then it's correct. You divided it by 10 and you checked mod 10. Yeah, I think it's correct. So let's check the same stuff with this one, by the way. Okay, this is the tens. So for thousands, it is 2. Let's make it like this. Our value int here assigned to 2316. Then for thousands, this division is 2.316, but this is floored in VHDL to 2. Then you got the proper 1001. So for hundreds, we calculated tens, it was correct 1, because mod 10 of this is 1. So you are correct. Let's calculate the hundreds. Then divided by 100, result is 23.16. So it is floored to 33 divided by 10. Sorry, with 3 bits. By the way, since it can be up to 9, 4 is correct as well. So you did that integer to unsigned and std logic vector. You shall provide the width, and since it could be at most 9, 4 bits are correct. So that is also nice. So here again mod for the hundreds we have mod 10 again, so it is 3. So what we thousands to for hundreds we calculated 3, for tens we calculated 1, for ones it is apparent, by the way, directly mod 10 is enough, then it is 6. So 2, 3, 1, 6, you are correct. So this solution is correct, say it. But let's check the process. Process is here, I didn't like it because you have a clock, but you have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands in the sensitivity list. So it is not proper if you have a clock. But if it is only the calculation of count, why you have added slow clock to the sensitivity list? Okay, I got it. It is a combinatorial process. But since there is no clocking, you shall not add slow clock to this sensitivity list. So I don't see slow clock here. Count.
Hocam.
Yes. Where is the slow clock? I don't see.
I sent all code in code review page.
Okay. But you don't have the slow clock here, right? In this process, I don't see it. So it shall not be, slow clock shall not be in the sensitivity list. Other than that, it is fine. So let's check you are the reading signals. The signals you are reading shall be in the sensitivity list. So ones, tens, hundreds, thousand. That is correct. So just this one is wrong. But let me open the code so I will be able to click. It will be much better. Not probably here, but I will download it and open with Notepad++. Okay, we cannot change it here, but let me. Okay, it is much better. Now I can
I
also.
use
By
slow clock
yep. Okay.
because clock is very fast.
Uh-huh.
I don't catch anode.
Okay, that's fine. Clockwise operation we will check, but problem here was more about the sensitivity list. So, but you understood that, right? That slow clock shall not be here in this process, because this process you are reading only ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands, and also it is the combinatorial one, so there is no clocking. Rising edge clock is in the other process, so you shall remove this one here.
Okay,
Did you understand that one?
I understood.
Okay, great. So this one was correct, but I highly recommend, instead of these many tabs, just by the way, I do it like that. If you copy this tab here and paste here and replace it with 3 spaces. By the way, in Notepad++, my tab is default 3 spaces, but then it will be, just a second, 1, 2, 3, replace all. Now it is not tab, but dots. Because you made it like tabs in your browser, we saw it a little bit differently. Yeah, but this is too much. So instead of this, for instance, I use much shorter spaces before the assignment of each signal. So like this. But these initial spaces, tabs you have, also the additional in each level, they are good. But just don't exaggerate this in between, the space between signal and assignment operators. So that will look much better. But now I can increase the size of my video. So let's check from the scratch right now. Let's review it from scratch. So, okay, great. You are using only IEEE numeric as the additional library. This library IEEE and use IEEE ST Logic 1164. Is it 1164 or 1064? Then one of us did a mistake, because as far as I remember, I wrote here 1. Where is it? Okay, I don't have it here. Oh, here 1064. Was that statement? Maybe this is wrong. Was it 1164 or 1064? Maybe it was STD logic. Oh, okay. STD logic is okay. Standard is 10. So none of us made a mistake. So standard is 1064, but STD logic, this library, this clause of this library was 1164. So I think it is correct. Let me cross check. So yes, it was a false alarm. So both of us, yes, this is 1164 package. But good to remember. By the way, this is 64. Sorry, this is already the last 2 digits are also different. This is 1164. This is the what you have written is correct. It is. Let me also show line numbers. It is also quite helpful during the review. So okay, this is 1164 is the STD logic clause of IEEE standard. But remind that 1076 is the that is the standard number of the standard, or yeah, that IEEE document of VHDL is starting with 1076. There are that 1993 version, 2002 version, 2008 version, and finally 2019 version. Okay, good. This is correct. Only using numeric, that is also great. This is the approach by Doulos, Xilinx, Intel, Altera for more than 20 years. These clock is fine. Clock is 3 letters, but others shall be clock and reset. RST, CLK for clock, RST for reset. Okay, they are fine, but these are unacceptable. Those they shall be, if because it is switch. So just name it like board underscore switch, or because there are sometimes, or test switch, or sometimes in the schematic of those boards there are some proper names. So it is for the one reusing this code, for instance, for that BC due to 7-segment display conversion, or using that board switches in some ways. So in different development kits, development board, there are many switches. So it is much better those variables, those signals, port names to be self-defining. So let's say name it somehow similar to ones in the schematic, so that it will be the reusability will be much better. So this is the way. Then those constraints files, port names, routing names, signal names on the PCB, etc. Everything will be much better to follow. Otherwise, switch. Which switch? Maybe there are sometimes there are 20 switches in a like 10K to 20K development board, or custom board. Sometimes there are. By the way, switches are not preferred in custom boards because of the EMC EMI issues. But sometimes, for instance, you are using LEDs, LED emitting, light emitting diodes, LEDs. So we Turkish read it like LEDler. There are many LEDs. If you just, for instance, add here LED or LD, like you do with 2 letters only, so it is misleading. So it is not that reusable, let me say. Okay, AN is anode control for 4 digits. So yeah, the same thing applies to other signal names. So I am skipping it. Signals, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, STD logic vector 3 down to 0. Okay, this is fine. By the way, I recommend you to keep all commands in the same language. So by the way, in many Turkish companies as well, it is not allowed to make Turkish commands. So at some points, parts you have English commands, some parts you have Turkish commands. So this is prohibited. Also, don't use these Turkish characters, even if you in your company it is allowed to make some Turkish commands. Don't use non-English characters, let me say, because you in Notepad++ it looks fine, but sometimes if you open any other tool, also the GUI, graphical user interface of Vivado, Libero, or Quartus, you see some bad characters, some sad ones. It is, yeah, because they cannot recognize these Turkish characters or other non-English characters. Also, same story applies to these tabs. Tabs are bad. So you see the spaces in between each line, in between lines, and between these text, it looks ugly if it is tab in some of those text editors. So it is much better to use dots. By the way, I showed that in the past before, but let me show you again. When you open Notepad++ preferences, here there was a part. Okay, when you click on the language in preferences window, so there is this option here, replace by space. So and tab size, you can change it. You can do it 4, 2, 3, depending on your choice. For me, 4 is too much, 2 is too few, so I prefer 3. But it depends on your, again, company rules or the rules that you are following at home for your hobby projects. So I go with 3. Let me a little bit go here. Okay, then if you replace by space, tick, if it is ticked, then each time I do, you see you add dots, 3, like you are pressing. Now I am pressing, for instance, space. You may hear the voice. Oh, this is, each space is adding one space character, but also if I just click the tab, it is adding 3 spaces. This is good for text editors. The majority follows. Yeah, visually it is nice. By the way, one last thing: if you go to View and Show Symbol, then if you tick on Show White Space and Tab, then also you may click on Show All Characters, then also Return Characters also. You see here, because you press Enter, that LF is added here. So you can observe like this. But I am adding, for instance, View, Symbol, Show Symbol, Show Space, White Space, and Tab. So it is, by the way, it is full name is White Space, not Space. Space is the more name of that button on the keyboard. Also, you may like see none of them. Now I close, for instance, you don't see it. This is nice to use this feature of Notepad++. For the zooming, for instance, now I zoomed to make you see better. But also zoom, there is restore default zoom. You can also restore it like that. It is not in Notepad++. It is not control 0 like it is in Chrome or something. So you need to view, zoom. You can control and scroll to zoom in or zoom out. You can do like that. But you see here, you need to control plus num front space character. So let me do it. Control front space. You see it is restored to 0% zoom. So it is not control 0. So you see each command also has those shortcuts near. Okay, let's continue with the review. Let me a little bit zoom out so we see comments. Okay, let's continue. So we have a count integer 0. Again, a good coding practice. So you need to limit this integer, because by default tools doesn't know how many bits that integer would be. So for instance, here, what was ours is 13 bit, right? 13 bits integer, how we were using it, case count, when 0, when 1, when 2, when 3. Count is, by the way, our count is not even more than 4, I think. Okay, because it is count is the stage. Okay, count. Yeah, I don't recommend. This is the state machine signal. So it is 0, 1, 2, 3. By the way, it is exactly, there are 4 cases, so you don't need to add another statement here, because it is already, it will be implemented in 2 bits. But for state machine signals, let's check if it is used elsewhere. It is counter. Okay, you change state machine here, states here, by incrementing each every time with slow clock. Okay, when it is 3, it is resetted. By the way, you don't need to reset it as well, because after 3, next value will be anyway 0 with this increment. So this code is not necessary here. Okay, we will come to that part. But since this is okay, I understand it. Since you are incrementing your status each and every time, you made that as integer. Okay, since this is a simple one, this is acceptable. But in general, state machine signal is STD logic vector, or not STD logic vector. It is enumerated type. Sorry. So it will be state 0, state 1, state 2, state 3, and each state, next state shall be, for instance, in the state 0, next state shall be state 1, kind of. So yeah, this is a little bit, okay, since you don't have too much experience, so it is acceptable for now, let's say. But I would never do this kind of integer, and you see there are some magic numbers here, case 0, case when 1, when 0, then increment it. Then there is that magic number, count is equal to 3, reset it. So these, for instance, if you are using some magic numbers, they shall be constants. So but I understand it is a simple state machine. So for this binary 7 segment ones, okay, since this is a simple code, let's don't dig it too much. But let me say, these are not ideal way of working in VHDL. Okay, let's be, since you don't have many years of experience, let's skip some details for now. But count is okay, initial value 0. Again, Turkish comments, then make it all in English, or make all in Turkish, then have the coherency, but don't use Turkish characters anyways. So instead of ç, use here C, sayak. When you read it in English, okay, it's Turkish, so it will be sayaç again, but don't use ç. And slow clock STD logic. By the way, this slow clock, okay, clock divider is below. We will come to that part. We have a clock divider, integer. Okay, fine. Function, you have a function definition. Okay, let's check this one. Binary to 7 segments. Input 3-bit logic. Output variable. Segment output. Okay, for the 0, 7 segment output is this one. For 1, for 2, for 3, for 4, 7. So it is going to up to 9. 0 will be like something like this, right? In 7 segment, 0 is this. Probably this one is the middle part. So then you are turning it off, but turning on all those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. By the way, why it is, oh, this is 7-bit. Okay, yes, it shall be like that. So then these are the outer sides first 6 bits, 7th bit is middle. So let's just cross check one of them. Probably that is true because you know those where that segment outputs are connected to. But for the 9, it will be like this. So then everyone shall be on, but then this is the most significant, third most significant bit is this, I think. Then this is 9. Probably that is right. So let's skip this part. But nice, you also made a function, defining a function example here. That is good. So it is informative. Let's continue. Nice, since this is variable, it is in each case here you are assigning to this variable with colon equal. That's correct. Nice. Begin. So okay, we are starting to our processes here. By the way, let's check if you ended with that behavioral as well. Okay, that is good. This is the architecture, by the way. So it starts with name of the architecture is behavioral. The component name is BCD27. By the way, I recommend to add those underscores, so it is more readable from my point of view. So that's since VHDL is not case sensitive, but Verilog and SystemVerilog are case sensitive. In Verilog, for instance, or SystemVerilog, they prefer sometimes that camel naming convention. So they also use like BCD to 7 like this. So it is then more readable because of that camel naming convention. But yeah, as I mentioned before, that mixed language stuff, some of VHDL is case insensitive, but SystemVerilog and Verilog is case sensitive. So they may end up with some problems. So I don't recommend and use upper cases other than the IEEE here. I use it like that. I always click lowercase everything, then I just make uppercase IEEE for my code, even if I wrote some. So this is much better, but to make them readable, more readable, I add underscore. So it is much more readable. I would recommend to switch that one if I was reviewing your code in your company, let me say. Okay, then let's continue. BCD27, I mentioned that underscore will be much better, much more readable. Then let's continue with the processes. And let's come back to your naming convention. Okay, now first 3 lines are also uppercase. Okay, process clock divider. If clock rising edge, then clock divider is equal to 50K. Okay, these are what I mentioned. These are magic numbers. So they are really prohibited. Not good companies, not only good companies custom rule sets, but also linting tools hates those because these are magic numbers. You need to go some line of code to change it, update it, etc. Instead of this, you shall add some constants, starting with. By the way, you may made it generic as well, so that it might be updated by the user. But sometimes it is the preference of the designer. Maybe he or she thinks it is better to use it as a constant, so it is not generic, so that it cannot be changed outside the code. Then make it constant with the constant. So you made the Turkish explanation here, but let's rename it like 1 kilohertz to no 100 megahertz to 1 kilohertz, let's say. So that will be integer as well. But this time, since this is a huge number, you need to provide a range as well. So this is 50K right now. So maybe tool will not, since it is constant, by the way, it will be optimized. But for this clock divider integer, you need to apply a range statements. Let me check range integer VHDL. So for the proper, yes, it is like that. Directly integer range, then the value. This is constant. So constant for it, since it is constant, we don't need to apply any range. But for the clock divider, before setting then it to 0, you need to apply its range. So it is from 0 to this value, 50K. This is its limit. So clock divider cannot exceed this value, because when it is 50,000, it is set to 0. So you applied its range. Then optimizer will not use 32 bits. We'll use less bits to realize this. So this is, by the way, would be nice to add the range for this one, although it is simple one. It still, let's add it. So it is 0 to 3. So since you are resetting it to 0 when it is 3. By the way, if you had made it STD logic vector, if you increase, let's say it's a 2-bit STD logic vector 1 down to 0. When it is 3, 1, 1, if you increment it again, it is going to 0. So it is not going to, since it is 2 bits only. But since we are using numeric and you shall do that, compiler cannot know either it is, actually language cannot know either it is unsigned or signed. So you need to switch unsigned, or directly make your state machine unsigned. But I will not waste time with that one for now. Let's skip. We may do another example during our code review classes, either in Turkish or in English. So let's continue. So we added a proper range for this clock divider. So it will be, let's say, instead of 32 bits, it will be 1023, limit is 10 bits. So this is 50. So it will be converted to, let me check, I think 16 bits, right? Because with 16 bits we can, if it is unsigned, we can start from 0 to 65,000 something. So it is 65535, I think. Let's be sure about that. Where is the calculator? Code is here, calculator here. Where is the code? So 16 bits 2024 multiplied by 64, yes, 655,636 minus 1, of course, because it starts from 0. So yes, this will be this counter will be realized with 16 bits. But if you didn't add, you haven't add this range, some synthesizers, some optimizers, sometimes sometimes there are many codes, many lines of codes. It might not be optimized to 16 bits. So this is the good coding practice, both for simulation and design purposes. So you apply the range of this signal. But don't forget to, after this range, by the way, probably compiler gives an error about it. So you may not check somewhere saying that this shall be, this is if it is more than 50K or something, because you know this is the range right now. Okay, good. Then we also add a constant. So the constant is actually this value. So we added the range, and instead of this magic number here, you need to do this. So no magic number allowed other than 0 or reset values in the code, in the processes. There shall be such constants. Okay, you are nothing to create. You are creating the slow clock here. By the way, that is correct because it is each knot. You are, let's say it is slow clock, initial value is 0. So after first rising edge, it will be 1. And after second rising edge, it will be 0. So the time required, the 2 clock, you need 2 clocks to get another rising edge. That is why correctly you counted to up to 0 to let's check it, 0 to 50,000, but I think you will count one more. So I think it should be like this, minus 1. So because starting from 0, then you will count up to 49,999. So 49,999. Then you will exactly divide it to from 100 megahertz to 1 kilohertz. Let's also cross check that one. So 1 kilohertz, yeah, let's say this is 1 megahertz. Let's change it to kilohertz first. So this is 1000. Then you need to divide it to 1000. So this is due to this NOT gate inverter. You are getting 2 multiplication factor and proper 50,000. Then it is 100,000. Yeah, I think you missed this minus 1 part, but cross check it. So because your counter, the very first time you enter here, counter will increment, but it's the first value of clock divider is 0. So you need to count up to this value minus 1, I think, but cross check it. Then yeah, okay, clock divider at this when you read this threshold, clock divider is this counter set to 0, otherwise it is incremented. Okay, we are good. Process, okay, we reviewed this one, so functionally it is fine. By the way, the reviewer purpose is not like this checking the functional stuff most of the time. It is more like giving some hints about the functional behavior, but more like good coding practices, using the DSPs, lookup tables, internal RAMs, etc. Those FPGA resources in a proper way, plus the linting rules, some company specific stuff that linting tools may not catch. So this is something like hybrid behavior between linting tool. So this is, by the way, yeah, that's why I am calling linting tool review is automatic ones. Peer reviews, colleague reviews are manual ones. So both are required and both are quite beneficial. These review, like spending 10 minutes, 15 minutes for a code increases the quality and reusability significantly. So it is very valued in many good companies. And so this was fine. As we switch, we are reading it here. Other than we are reading this internal process variable, that is good. So we also checked its functionality at the beginning. Yeah, adds. Yeah, don't like this clock divider, slow yavaşlat in Turkish, so make it slow down the clock. Keep it everything. Keep each comment in English, or if it is allowed, keep every comment in Turkish then, because it is like mixture right now. So I don't like that two, three different language commenting, different languages. I don't like. For instance, at Daisy there was like one Polish guy made many comments in Polish, so then you cannot understand it. So yeah, keep it. For instance, sometimes you will be sharing some knowledge with other companies, so it will be nice if everything is in English, in my opinion. Even if you are sharing those with Turkish companies, majority of good companies keep everything is in English. So you may write your company documents in Turkish, but code commentary in the code, comments in the code, I think much better if everything is in one language. Okay, so we have this, we reviewed this process. Nice that you are adding some comments about the process. That is great. Many experienced ones skipping these comments before the process and inside the process. So this is nice. But my recommendation also add some label to process, like P, let's say, digits, let's say, okay. And then colon also. Then if you, after adding, and add this comment on top of it, also when you add that label on top, or also you can edit like this, so that you don't use any additional lines. So you shall add this process name to the end of process as well, otherwise it gives error. But it is good because sometimes you copy paste some processes, then if you forget to rename it, then you get the error. You have same label for two different processes, you are getting that error. So but you understand that you copy it and paste something, so even if you change the name of those signals, you need to add new comments, add new label, so it will be readable, understandable. It will be more readable and more understandable for your colleagues. Sometimes it is just dream like this. Just dream this. Sometimes this is future engineers, your future colleagues. The previous colleagues we say ex-colleagues, but sometimes the ones even haven't started to university or something like that. So they will be reading this, they will be reusing this. So you need to add some comments, add some labels, write some code that that shall be understood by others in the future. So don't rely on your current colleagues' knowledge. Maybe they won't be there as well. So you should think someone that has a basic digital design and FPGA design and or verification experience shall understand this code or any code you are writing. So this should be the way. Do some little bit empathy. Think that you started here, but for instance, what is that AN anode control? Okay, there is that comment here, but you cannot add that one each and every line. So maybe he or she didn't see it. So each, and sometimes it is 100 lines of code like this. Sometimes it is 400, 500. So each and every signal shall not be shorter than 3 letters, but also be self-explaining. So I shall understand whenever click a signal. At least its name shall give some clues about its usage. Okay, I think we told that this slow clock shall not be in the sensitivity list here because it is combinatorial process, no rising edge of clock, no flip-flops here. Just assigning, making those conversions to binary to 7-segment display and that anode signal. So yeah, as I mentioned, I don't prefer this kind of 0, 1, 2, 3, this kind of finite state machine. So I prefer enumerated types. But it is okay for this level of experience. I know, say it is like 1-2 year experience. So he will definitely improve this naming standards, naming conventions. For the last one, now slow clock, this is the finite, actually this is determining this finite state machine next state. Each time, each slow clock rising edge count is increased. So next state is, if it is 0, 1, if it is 1, 2, so it is this one. But since we limited count 0 to 3, so when other statement is not required here. This is nice, by the way. So because it is exactly 2 bits and all bits now are fulfilled by either 0 or 1, because 0 is 2 bits 0 0, 1 is 0 1, 2 is 1 0, 3 is 1 1. So when other statement is not required in this time. If you have 3 bits and if you used only 6 of them, then when others, if you don't write when others, it will give an error. But here, since all those states are fulfilled, you don't need it. So compilers will not give any errors. So it was a let me say an extra line of code. So it's not necessary here because it's not possible to go any state other than these 3 because 4, sorry, other than 0 to 3, let me say. And another nice thing, you are increasing it here and you don't need to reset because it is already 0, 1, 2, 3, and since it is 2 bits, it will be overflow and go to 0 again. So it is not possible. But as I mentioned, I would go with, instead of this integer, for instance, I would go, if you think, or if I think it is so simple enumerated type is not necessary here. Instead of this, I would go with unsigned 1 down to 0. I would go with this one. And since it is finite state machine, count is not self-explaining. Finite state machine FSM count, let's say. Okay. Then let's find this count, even if you are incrementing it. Now, since it is unsigned, you can increment. And you don't need to reset anything. So, because it will be, where is its initial value? I think we had, okay, let's add also that initial value. Since you don't use a reset approach here, but since it is finite state machine signal, a reset, this is an important control signal, then you shall have a reset here. It is much better because this is affecting all your outputs. So as I mentioned during those FSM classes we had in Turkish, I talked about like 15 important rules about those finite state machine, proper finite state machine design. So reset will be nice for this one, even if it is demo board. So it is much better to have a reset for important control signals, and finite state machine is of course one of those important control signals. But okay, let's keep it like this for now. FSM count, yeah, you don't need to now reset something because it is already, you see, starting from 0, 2 bits. Each rising edge of slow clock that we generated here, it will start from 0. First rising edge, it will be 1. Then second slow clock's rising edge, it will be 2, then 3, then next increment it will be 0 again. So you don't need to reset anything. By the way, some compilers are really smart. So even if you do this kind of reset, they don't add anything, any additional stuff, because it knows it will overflow and it will go back to 0. But some old compilers are not that smart. Also, sometimes compilers are smart, but there are many other optimizations that shall be done compilers, so they are skipping. Sometimes, unfortunately, they are skipping this kind of this kind of optimizations, because that algorithm is usually huge, especially like more than 50% of the FPGA resources are used. So yeah, don't rely on the optimizations from the synthesizer or placement and routing tool. So just do it by yourself as much as possible. Like this, for instance, if it is optimized, then it would see, without this range, it would see this highest value of this counter is 50,000. Then it could optimize it to 16 bits, but some compilers does, some doesn't. So some of those compilers do, some of them don't do this. So don't rely on the specific tool, specific version, etc. So just do it by this is this is good coding practice. So by the way, sorry, say it, just keep in your mind what you would like to say. Majority of these are in the rule sets of those companies. Unless your company doesn't have any joggers, any way of working about design and verification, ask for it and contribute to them. Otherwise, if nothing is there and if it is dependent on the each and every designer, verification engineers, etc., it is really bad. Then that know-how transfer and knowledge transfer is damaged every time. So this is the way about this. Yes, Sait, please go on. I
I
think
want
we
question.
concluded the review, but if you have any specific questions, please go for it.
Okay. If when I use state machine,
Uh-huh.
state change state changes whenever a variable changes. Yeah. FSM count.
Uh-huh,
I
uh-huh.
don't I don't need reset. I understand.
Yes, yes, but problem is after startup, okay, this count value. So I think rename it with FSM count. Let's rename it each of them as FSM count. So it replace
Okay,
count
I
to FSM
understood.
count. So what is the value after startup? Do you know it? You don't know it. And I added, by the way, it is since I added FSM to this one. So I added here, as far as I remember, I added the initial value, right? There was no initial
Mhm.
value. So it is like this. Let's go back to everything. So count. By the way, you have the this value for you had initial value for count, so that is good. I think you had it right. Let me cross check. Okay, you had it. This is good. Uh, so what I have added? I added initial values to something else, I think. What was it? I couldn't find it. Yeah, I think you have all those signals have some initial values other than ones, tens, hundreds. Let's check. Okay, here they are getting their first value according to the. Yeah, this is also quite fast without, because it is not combinatorial. You are getting those values as well, depending on the value of this switch. So that is fine. Yeah, but you already added that initial value, because after startup, after power on or power cycle, you need to start from a predetermined state. Problem here is each power up you will get this value and start from this state when zero state. That is good, but sometimes in some yeah, especially some in some complicated algorithms, uh, there are some soft resets to FPGA. So for instance, a CPU would like to reset, or user, let me say, using some external communication like RS422, RS485, user would like to reset everything, okay, at some point of your design, if you're after power up. So then this code will start running from scratch only after a power cycle. So this is not yeah, this is also an approach, but majority of those designs on the field, they want some soft reset as well. So they would like to start everything from scratch, but for your code to make it up and running from scratch, from the beginning, you need to power off FPGA and power on FPGA. You get my point? So that one is nice. You have those initial values. So after each power cycle, your state machine, because this was your count, was your state machine signal, it will start from the state zero. That is good, but you don't a software, either or a hard CPU or a soft CPU cannot reset this code. So this is usually it is not expected, it is not wanted. Did you get my point?
I don't understood.
You didn't. Okay, it is like this. Okay, let's say we have a
I
system.
didn't.
We have a system up and running, but depending on some decisions, some inputs, or just one click from the user that controls that system, okay, they would like to start each and every process from the scratch, from the beginning. Okay, so they don't want to cut the power off, power on. They don't want any power cycles, but they want some reset. This is the by the way, there are two. Actually, there are also like hot reset, cold reset stuff, but this is a little bit complicated. Let me skip that part. There are two type of resets to a design, to a either FPGA or other kind of embedded design. So either hard reset or soft reset. Hard reset is more like the chips on the PCBs. They are resetting everything because those resets are connected to reset ports of CPUs, GPUs, or FPGAs. Those are hard reset because there is a ASIC design there providing a reset signal with sometimes with some complicated timings as well, because that power up sequence is important. This is
Okay,
hard
I
reset. Just a
understand.
second, let me complete soft reset part. This is hard reset, and soft reset is none of those ASIC stuff, that real signal, that electric signal is going high or going low, but software gives some decisions, or user of that design, because you know systems are either wired or wireless, connected to some users. Depending on their one click, also a reset shall be done. This is the soft reset. So instead of applying some external electric signals, software guy, a graphical user interface guy who is controlling the actually customer of the design would like to have a reset because some unexpected thing has happened. So your code doesn't get any reset. So this will be only start from scratch, start from the beginning after a power cycle, because you don't have control. You have only clock. Each rising edge of the clock, you are giving some decisions, you are giving some calls, but externally you don't have anything. Did you get the point right now?
Okay, I understand.
Yes, but we shall further discuss in Turkish as well. So for your more detailed questions, I think for reviewing and understanding major parts, we spent enough time for this one. But thanks for sharing it. By the way, I think quality for design quality for an engineer at your level, you are like 2 year experience, right? 2, 3, or something like that.
One
When did you graduate?
maybe one experience, maybe 3 months experience,
Great.
because I graduate on July.
July. Okay, great. Then I think code quality is really nice. Yeah, if I would rate it with your experience, I think it is 9 out of 10 or something like that. It is quite good. It is quite promising. Just doing like that in a really short amount of time, I think you will be able to write.
The first code I wrote.
Yes, great. But
Yeah.
it is great. You got some nice trainings. I see here you attended some seminars. You got a good VHDL trainings. Also, probably you experienced some stuff during your university days. So it is great. This is just keep working like this. Just keep benefiting from open source stuff like this, and ask questions to your colleagues. And I think in 2, 3 years you will be a great FPGA design engineer. Just keep working like this, and I think code quality will improve and improve each and every day. So congratulations in that sense, and thank you for asking questions.
Thank you.
All right,
Well,
great. Okay, you are welcome. So let's check other, if we have any other questions in the chat box. So By the way, I plan to do also code review specific classes, lectures. We already did one in Turkish 2 weeks ago. So I plan to make it in English as well. So don't hesitate to send your custom codes written by yourselves at home, of course, to our code review text channel in Discord, so that we will be reviewing those in the future. You may send VHDL Verilog or SystemVerilog codes. So everything, all of them are welcomed. So, okay, Furkan, about the previous explanation, he said now clean and clear. Thanks a lot for your response. He said thanks a lot as well, Furkan, for the nice questions. I think this is the end of this lecture. Special thanks to Furkan and Seyit for their nice questions, and hoping to see you on this next Wednesday. Let me say, I think it will be 9th of October. So let me cross check what was the topic. It will be linting rules for FPGA design and verification. So good that we did some pre-work today by reviewing Seyit's code. We will be going through some major linting rules for FPGA design and verification. That one will be, I think, another good class, informative class for you. So hoping to see you on the 9th of October. Thanks a lot and have a great Sunday. Bye bye.